I'm sitting by the banks of the Mandakini River, which was flowing right past our resort in Tilwada. On the way here, we had passed Devprayag, Rudraprayag, and we had seen the Ganga from high above, but we could not go down and put our feet in the water. And I was feeling quite bad about that. But when we got here, we saw that this Mandakini River was flowing right past our resort, and I was so delighted. Mandakini in Sanskrit means slowly or gently flowing river. The Mandakini Valley has been mentioned in the Ayodhya Kand of the Ramayana as a serene, beautiful place where Lord Ram, Lakshman, and Sita spent a part of their exile. And today, millennia later, I am here. It gives me goosebumps to think that Ram and Sita may once have drunk the waters of this very river. And I congratulate myself for choosing this place to break our journey from Dehradun to Gwaldam. Devbhoomi is a very apt name for this little mountain state which was carved out of Uttar Pradesh in the year 2000. It is a place of great spiritual importance for Hinduism. Four of the most sacred pilgrimage sites are located here: the Kedarnath, Badrinath, Gangotri, and Jamnotri. But Uttarakhand is not a state only for those seeking spiritual fulfillment. 86% of it is covered with mountains and 45% is covered with forests. The snowy peaks and glaciers, the meadows, the rivers, the valleys, they beckon the mountaineers and trekkers alike. There is something here to charm each one who visits. We are now on our way to Rudraprayag. We'll stop at Devprayag first. And we've hired a vehicle from Make My Trip. And they offer one-way drops. That is difficult to find in other taxi services. 3 hours after we leave Dehradun, we reach Devprayag, the confluence of the Alaknanda and the Bhagirathi. It is from this point that the mighty river starts being called the Ganga, the holiest river of Hinduism. The gently flowing river that you see on the right, that one is the Alaknanda, and the leaping, gurgling, boisterous river on the left is the Bhagirathi.
Before that, there are four more Prayags. First is the Vishnu Prayag, where the Alaknanda meets the Dhauli Ganga. The second is the Nand Prayag, where Alaknanda meets Nandakini River. The third is Karna Prayag, where the Alaknanda meets the Pindar River. And the fourth is the Rudra Prayag, where Alaknanda meets, what does it mean? Wait, let me think. Okay, I remember. In Rudraprayag, Alaknanda meets Mandakini River. So these are the five prayags, and it looks extremely beautiful from here. And this is the Dev Prayag town. I'll do pranam to Ma Ganga from here. I cannot.
The Raghunath Kirti campus of the Central Sanskrit University is perched nicely above the Sangam. Near Srinagar, we pass the Dhari Devi Mandir. It's built right in the middle of the river, and you have to approach it via this bridge. No Char Dham Yatra is considered complete till you have taken darshan at this temple too. Despite the blazing sun, people were frolicking on this Alaknanda river beach. The sand looked really soft and powdery white. And then we reached Rudraprayag, the confluence of the Mandakini and the Alaknanda. This is the second Prayag we see today. We tasted Buranj juice for the first time. This is made from the rhododendron flower and it is supposed to have a lot of health giving properties. The Buranj grows in profusion in these mountains. And finally, we reached the Mandakini tourist rest house in Tilwada. Tilwada is about 10 kilometers from Rudraprayag. This rest house is run by Gadwal Mandal Vikas Nigam. The Mandakini resort exceeded expectations. The construction looked new and the design was unusually modern for a government rest house. While Ravi took a quick nap, I went and explored the garden. The bumblebee must have been quite relieved when the blue magpies distracted me. And then I discovered these steps leading down to the river. There was this huge board at the top of the stairs. It said, "It is dangerous to go down. The waters of the river can rise suddenly, and to not go down unless absolutely essential." Of course, it was essential that I should go down. When else would I wade in a crystal clear, cold Himalayan river? But we were mindful of the warning sign and we stayed close to the banks. After all, these are glacier fed streams, and a sudden rush of water upstream could cause the levels to rise. But still, we thought, like, it's just a couple of feet deep just now. How high could it rise? We later came to know that it can rise very, very high indeed. This is also the Mandakini. These visuals are from the disastrous Kedarnath floods of June 2013. On June 16th and 17th, the Mandakini took the form of an avenging angel, destroying everything in her path. The waters rose by an astonishing 20 to 25 meters. In full spate, the river washed down large boulders and debris, and the deluge of water washed away settlements like Rambada and devastated the towns of Kedarnath and Sonprayag. Shops, hotels, houses, roads, bridges, they all collapsed like a pack of cards. More than 6,000 people died in this tragedy. 1 lakh pilgrims and tourists were stranded without food and water. A massive rescue and relief effort was made by the Indian Army and the ITBP. Financial aid poured in. Reconstruction started. The GMV and Mandakini, which looked like this before the floods, was very badly damaged. It was completely reconstructed and reopened in 2017. I'm glad I got all this information only after I had left the resort. Of course, I had remembered the tragedy, but I had been unaware that the Mandakini had played the central role in the destruction. I said goodbye to this ancient river and off we rolled to our next adventure.